Before we move forward, I want to patch in some important points that didn't make it into lessons 1 and 2, ideas that quietly shape the rest of epistemology, but can get overlooked if we rush ahead. Think of this as filling in the missing beams before we keep building. The scope of epistemology. We've been focused on what is knowledge, and that's central. But epistemology isn't only about defining it. The field has 3 big arenas. Figuring out what knowledge is, its definition and requirements. Investigating how we acquire and retain it through perception, memory, and reasoning. Exploring the limits of what can be known, including skeptical challenges. Even in this earliest stage, when we're just talking definitions, we're laying the foundation for those other 2 arenas. If we define knowledge too narrowly or too broadly now, it will distort every later discussion. Why propositional knowledge gets the spotlight. We've already covered the distinction between knowledge that and knowledge how, but there's one more layer worth noting. Propositional knowledge presupposes a more sophisticated intellectual capacity. Animals can have know-how, but propositional knowledge requires the conceptual reasoning and linguistic grasp humans have. Unless stated otherwise, knowledge in our discussion means propositional knowledge, the kind that directly connects to truth, belief, and justification. The belief in truth requirements, why they're taken for granted. We touched on these before, but let's go deeper into why almost everyone in epistemology accepts them. Belief is required because knowledge is a committed mental stance, not just a hunch, suspicion, or hope. When you believe something, you're all in on its truth, even if you turn out to be wrong. Truth is required because without it, knowledge would just mean belief, whether or not it matched reality. If you could know something false, knowledge would no longer be about getting things right. Mere true belief isn't enough. Imagine a person guessing the outcome of a coin toss, getting it right purely by luck. They have a true belief, but it's not knowledge. Why? Because there's no connection between why they believe it and the fact that it's true. This gap between true belief and knowledge is going to be one of the most important recurring themes in epistemology. Later, when we hit gettier cases, you'll see this problem in sharper detail. Knowledge is an achievement. The archer analogy we used earlier isn't just colorful. It's meant to show that knowledge is an achievement. Achievements are successes you can take credit for. They come from competence, not coincidence. This link between how you formed the belief and the fact that it's true is built in before we even start talking about justification or reliability. Truth as the target of belief. It's worth adding here that belief is aimed at truth by its very nature. When you believe something, you're implicitly treating it as true. That's why error feels like failure. This will matter when we talk about disagreement and error later. The common sense subjective view of truth. For our purposes, truth is taken to be objective. Whether a claim is true doesn't depend on whether anyone believes it. Most people find this obvious, though some philosophers will challenge it later. Starting with objectivity matters because it anchors how we talk about error, disagreement, and skepticism. Why this groundwork matters. These points, the broader scope of epistemology, the special focus on propositional knowledge, the truth and belief requirements, the problem of mere true belief, the idea of knowledge as an achievement, and the assumption of objective truth, are the load-bearing structure of the subject. Without them, later discussions about justification, Gettier problems, reliabilism, or skepticism don't have a stable frame. So now, with this missing scaffolding in place, we can build upward with confidence.